A Christmas Carol, by Charles Dickens is a novella that was first published in 1843. It's one of Dickens' most famous works and has become a holiday classic, often adapted into plays, movies, and even musicals. Plot summary. Scrooge is a wealthy but cruel businessman who has no compassion for others, particularly during Christmas. One Christmas Eve, he is visited by the ghost of his former partner, Jacob Marley, who tells him he will be visited by 3 spirits. The ghost of Christmas past takes Scrooge back in time to see his own childhood and early adulthood. Scrooge sees how he was once a kind and joyful man but slowly became consumed by greed and ambition, losing his personal relationships along the way. The ghost of Christmas present shows Scrooge the lives of people around him during Christmas. He witnesses the joy and struggles of others, including the Cratchit family. He is particularly moved by Tiny Tim, who is ill but full of love and joy despite his difficult circumstances. The ghost of Christmas yet to come shows Scrooge a bleak future. Scrooge sees the death of Tiny Tim and his own lonely death, with no one to mourn him. This final vision deeply shakes Scrooge and makes him realize he must change his ways. After these visits, Scrooge wakes up on Christmas morning, filled with a newfound love for life and people. He becomes generous, helping the Cratchit family, particularly Tiny Tim, and reconnects with his nephew Fred. Scrooge's transformation from a selfish, greedy man to a caring, charitable one is the heart of the story. Since its publication, A Christmas Carol has become synonymous with the Christmas season. Scrooge's name has even become a synonym for a miserly person. There have been many film adaptations of A Christmas Carol, ranging from traditional, faithful retellings to more modern, creative takes. Here are some of the most notable ones. A Christmas Carol 1938. Director, Edwin L. Merrin. Cast, Reginald Owen as Ebenezer Scrooge. This early Hollywood adaptation of the novella is another classic, though not as famous as some others. Reginald Owen's portrayal of Scrooge is considered a bit more light-hearted than others, but it's still a solid rendition of the Dickens story. It's a black and white film that captures the spirit of the era. Scrooge 1951. Director, Brian Desmond Hurst. Cast, Alastair Sim as Ebenezer Scrooge. This is one of the most famous and beloved versions of A Christmas Carol. Alastair Sim's portrayal of Scrooge is considered iconic and is praised for its mix of coldness and eventual warmth. The film is a black and white, faithful adaptation of Dickens' novella and is considered one of the best interpretations. A Christmas Carol 1971. Director, Richard Williams. Cast, Alastair Sim. This is a famous animated version, directed by Richard Williams, which is known for its distinctive animation style and its faithful adherence to the source material. The animation is quite unique, and the film remains a classic for fans of both the novella and animated adaptations.
I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner.
Mickey's Christmas Carol 1983. Director, Bernie Maddison. Cast, Scrooge McDuck as Ebenezer Scrooge. This animated short features Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and other classic Disney characters. Scrooge McDuck takes on the role of Ebenezer Scrooge in this charming 26-minute adaptation. It's a family-friendly version of the tale, packed with the humor and warmth that Disney is known for. A Christmas Carol 1984. Director, Clive Donner. Cast, George C. Scott as Ebenezer Scrooge. This TV movie adaptation is one of the most well-regarded versions, with George C. Scott bringing gravitas and depth to Scrooge. The film sticks closely to the novella's plot but is notable for its strong performances and high-quality production. Scrooged 1988. Director, Richard Donner. Cast, Bill Murray as Frank Cross. In this modern-day reimagining, Bill Murray plays a cynical, television executive named Frank Cross who is visited by 3 spirits on Christmas Eve. The film is a dark comedy and is a loose, contemporary adaptation that takes a more satirical approach, mixing comedy with a heartfelt message.
Anyone who thinks he hates Christmas is wrong.
The Muppet Christmas Carol 1992. Director, Brian Henson. Cast, Michael Caine as Ebenezer Scrooge, Kermit the Frog as Bob Cratchit. This charming adaptation features the Muppets retelling the classic story, with Michael Caine playing a more traditional Scrooge amidst the Muppet cast. It is beloved for its humor, catchy songs, and heartwarming message, and has become a holiday favorite for families.
As only the Muppets can tell it.
It's good to be heckling again. It's good to be doing anything again.
A Christmas Carol 2009. Director, Robert Zemeckis. Cast, Jim Carrey as Scrooge and multiple other characters. This is a visually stunning, animated version of the story, utilizing motion capture technology. Jim Carrey voices Scrooge and all three of the ghosts, offering a mix of dark humor and emotional depth. The film is known for its cutting-edge animation and dramatic scenes, but also received mixed reviews for its sometimes unsettling visuals.
Past, present, and future.
The Man Who Invented Christmas 2017. Director, Bart Naluri. Cast, Dan Stevens as Charles Dickens. This film is a somewhat different take, as it's not an adaptation of the A Christmas Carol itself, but a biographical story about Charles Dickens and how he came to write A Christmas Carol. It portrays the struggles Dickens faced while writing the novella, showing the creation of Scrooge and the development of the characters.
He meets some kind of supernatural guides. Does it have a title? Humbug.
A Christmas Carol 2023. Director, Stephen Donnelly. Cast, Guy Pearce as Ebenezer Scrooge. This more recent adaptation reimagines the story with a grittier, darker tone. Guy Pearce plays a more sinister version of Scrooge, and the film is set in a Victorian-inspired world with steampunk elements. It's a visually striking, unique take on the classic. These adaptations reflect how A Christmas Carol has remained relevant and malleable over the years, with each version adding something unique, whether it's comedy, animation, or a modern twist.